won't be blowing.
Grand Rising, Elizabeth.
Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
Hey, Reverend Nomani,
Grand Rising,
Jackie,
Queen.
hey, Mama Evelyn, and Queen. It is good to see you all today. Jackie from Jersey. I got Jackie and Jackie from Jersey on. We got two Jackies today. Just want to say, just want to say greetings, and it is good to be in the house of Elizabeth again. One more time, one more day.
One more
In
time.
the under the ultimate umbrella of the great divine, the Most High. Can't can't forget that. Um, so today is Wisdom Wednesday, and it is May 3rd, season of the Taurus, and soon to be Gemini in latter of the month. Yes, so it is springtime, and I heard that there were glitter flakes yesterday, and somebody, even one of my friends, even experienced a little hail. I didn't see that, but it's all right. We're gonna, I was telling the Aries people, if y'all could just get it together so May can be May, but it's all right. We'll take the days that we're getting. All right, so today I thought about some things that I wanted to do today, and one of them is our writing and our journaling, and also the other is meditation and creating a meditation. So I want to explore those ideas, and even if it's for, I'm not going to do the just thing, even if it's for ourselves, just to explore that possibility of creating a meditation. When we get into a place, and even for the journaling, when we get into a place where we're full and we need to make some space for some new energy to come in. So that's what focus is for today. So y'all know we need pen and paper, or if you want to put it in your mind and jot it down later, that's fine too. I'm going to pick an Isis card today. Oh, let's take a quickie. I do have my water, but I want to refill my coffee, and I need everyone to go take a restroom break and or grab pen and paper I have my water. I just want to refill my coffee cup and go grab a book that I have downstairs of something I wanted to share. So we'll be right back. You guys go ahead and chitty chat, but don't forget, go to the restroom, stretch your legs, and we'll be right back.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I had been to that church before, Queen. Um, um, the I always stumble over their name. The IE family, the IE, um, brother Kalinde.
Kalindi.
Yeah, he's the one that passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His son gives martial arts classes out of there. And I took
Yeah.
RJ to one class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think his dad wants him to take martial arts again. But yeah, but we'll see. He has to pay for that and figure that out. Because Waldorf discouraged having a fighting, any kind of fighting. Just save it until they're later. But it's like I think he needs to, be able to defend himself.
So what city is he living in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the week after the conference, we're supposed to. He's participating in a triathlon with the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm gonna say I don't know. I think what a father should have some bass in their voice, and his father, he kind of talk like this. I was like, how can he take you seriously?
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Well, Okay, all right. I hope everyone has refilled their cups, got their water, did a little stretch. So, yes, we're here Wisdom Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023, with Sister Mama Het, Sister Jackie from Jersey, and soon, and joining us is Sister Evelyn. Woo-hoo. So excited to have our artistic sister member, and I can't wait to see what's in store for us in our activities. I have lots of supplies, so I should be able to do most things that will be required of us for our arts and crafts sessions.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
this I use a calendar that I am so in love with. It is called the Witch's Date Book by the
Oh
Llewellyn
yeah, love
Company, who
those.
does,
Love
yeah,
those.
who do the calendars, and they show the big calendar that they have shows the planetary movement and lets you know what phases the moon is in. I don't know how they could predict it, but anyway. Um so this is one of their date books for, the smaller version.
Hmm.
And this month for May, they had a reading for what's called the May Moon of Joy. And I wanted to share that. The flower moon happens on Friday, the day of Venus, and speaks to the blooms that begin to appear at this time of year in the northern hemisphere. The combination of Venus's loving energy and the blossoming of flowers signals a day of ecstatic joy. The headiness of plant fragrance, the relief from disappearing cold season, and the joy of color appearing everywhere. Yet often in our daily lives, we defer joy. The self examination for this month: what causes you to hold back on happiness?
Hmm.
What does deferring joy get you?
Hmm.
This month, do not decide I'll be happy when. Look
Hmm.
underneath what gives you satisfaction for hidden shame and guilt. Challenge those underlying feelings and work to understand why you have them and why they hold you back from delight.
Hmm.
Answer these shadows by picking small victories, even something like getting all your laundry done, and celebrate them. Put on some music you love and dance if so inclined. Ring a bell, light a scented candle, and take pleasure in the little victories. And that was offered by Diana Rachel. So that was really, this question, when I was reading this, when it says, look underneath of what gives you satisfaction for, and it said hidden shame and guilt.
Hmm.
What are the underlying energies that give you satisfaction for hidden shame and guilt? And there's a satisfaction with shame and guilt. Have we thought about that?
Hmm.
Our if you look social medially, if you look social medially, people thrive on the drama. And if you
Right.
don't have nothing to say, if you don't have anything to talk about right now, I've seen a couple people that I love and respect, and they're talking about this. I guess it's a reporter, and they're speaking about her wear, what she's wearing. And they're coming there. I don't usually talk about people, but my question was, has a stylist, since you're the stylist now, have you reached out to her to offer her some assistance? Maybe her friend is a designer and she's wearing her friend's designer clothes. She might be supporting her sister. Who, but why do we sit back and have the satisfaction from shame and guilt instead of talk to a person to help? I had another friend of mine who I deeply respect, and her mother has rental property, and she was pointing out that the person that was living in the spaces had um, fecal matter, animal droppings, and whatnot. And I thought to myself, I said, why do we choose to put somebody on blast like that?
Hmm.
As opposed to, if we sisters, talking to them. So then I thought about it. I said, now wait, is the mother upkeeping the property correctly? Because that adds to it too. I mean, I had to look at both, looking at both sides. But when do we when at what point do we embrace one another and say, hey, let me help? Can I help? First of all, can I help you? Do you want help? Because Heru told me to learn how to wait until somebody asks you for help. Because sometimes we be offering help and folks ain't asked us no question. So, we have to wait for that door to be open, because once it's open, then they'll be ready to receive what you have to offer or get, or, put on the shelf. I would like some things to put on the shelf, because sometimes if you've made up your mind, you're already going to do something, and then somebody comes and say, hey, they got a suggestion. So I look back at with my father passing, that's one of the things that I said that I want to attribute to his message for me. To, know that you have people in camp that can assist and be open to put their ideas on your shelf in case you need to turn and open that cabinet door and use them. So those are just some of the insights that I have. But wow.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wanted to
Well,
share,
when you
please.
read that, the part of putting off your joy, I think some sort of like martyrdom, like, well, I would have been happy doing this, but I went on and helped this person do that when there may have been other people to help them, and you didn't need to put yourself out there like that. um yeah, I'm proud of my girlfriend. Had to come over yesterday. She bought us all dinner, and she said, I need to come over and decompress before going home and facing her daughter, you know, because I think she's beginning to realize, I'm setting myself on fire to keep this girl warm, and she keeps putting out the fire. So I said, you better stop lighting that fire. She's gonna have to fall, and she's gonna have to fall herself. You know, we do a lot of things in for the making sure our grandkids, or our grandkids are fine. We want to make sure the grandson is fine. So you end up doing more for the mother and the father than you planned to do. And you end up like overextending yourself, where you on a cliff and you barely holding on, and they're still tugging at the arm that's over the cliff.
Right. You like this, you teetering.
Yes. So yeah.
Ooh, I can so relate.
Just saying no, just saying no to small things, like, my daughter wasn't too. I was in the car when I was in the car coming back home last night. She said, I think I left a sock in the basement. When you come home, could you go down in I said, no. No, I think you better head on down there and that sock yourself. Or send RJ. Well, I've sent him down several times. I say he's fine. He can go down there again. I'm
Right.
What are you kidding me? So, that's why for me, getting up just a space that's a few feet away from the house where I'm not so accessible. You can't just walk into the office, or, walk into my room. From your room, it'd be a little harder, and I
Yeah.
would say
You gotta put your clothes on and some shoes on to come out here. Maybe you be like, you know what? I don't feel like going out there.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it.
So
Wow, y'all. How do we
that
defer our joy?
yeah, I'm not, yes, I'm not deferring my joy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make a commitment not to do no more deferment of joy.
Right.
Mm.
So with
That
that, we
was
were
my.
talking.
I just want
Go
to
ahead,
say
Mama.
that was my breakthrough on Monday with Sunzi. I got returned to joy. It's been a different world.
Okay.
It all occurs different,
Mm.
right? And what you read today about joy coming from Mars. Well, I'm a Libra. I'm like, okay, this thing is really lining up for me. Come on. And yeah, it's just been a whole different world. Just like finding joy in my everyday mundane shit. Okay, it's joy here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
find
Mhm.
Right.
it. And uh what was super, super powerful with my conversation with Sunzi is something I know about your system, mind, body, spirit system.
Uh-huh.
So I I had a complete system. My system completely broke down. And so I corrected and filled in the foundation for spirit. Then I went to spend some couple of years working on my emotions and how they worked and how to get them balanced and controlled because they were toxic. And then
Mm-hmm.
mentally, those were like a combo thing. I worked together, mental and emotional. So finally, I got to the point a few years ago. It's like, okay, now the physical realm, and my
Uh-huh.
finances is in the physical realm, and it's like all my things that I didn't want to deal with. When I got to
Right.
the physical world, all that stuff was hiding in my financial room. Because when I opened my
Okay.
financial door, I'm like, "What you doing in here? You come from this department." It was like, "Well, we know if we could hide it here because you wouldn't be over here in the finances for a while."
That's something. That is
Okay,
something.
so really, but the physical realm is the most difficult realm because it's dense,
Okay.
hard. It takes something to pull things in from the physical realm.
Can you put
And so
your
I've
camera
been
down?
trying, huh?
Can you put your camera down a little bit?
Okay.
Thank you,
I'm
cutie pie. There we go.
because I listen, I'm still laying down, but got
Ready
my
to
head and
go.
rag on. So here we go. Okay, this is me this morning. All right. So but what I really saw was that was so powerful being in a conversation with her. I was thinking all the sadness because it shows up like sadness. So I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking the sadness was coming from the grief of my loved ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to handle things from so sadness and grief. I was trying to handle it from the spiritual realm, but that's not where sadness and grief
Mm.
ain't in spirit.
Mm-mm.
It's not there. So that's like when Sunzi said it and she went on talking. I was like, oh wait. There's a problem right there. I'm in the spiritual realm trying to handle something that's occurring in the physical realm. Never just like my knee hurt, but I'm gonna put a band-aid on my elbow.
Right.
That's what I was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I went, what the hell? And so then as she kept talking, I could see that the physical realm was I was because she said my heart, my joy. She said that, right? And I had just
Mm-hmm.
got the thing the other day in my meditation and quietness is be true to my heart. And I didn't quite know what it meant, so that's why I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so and she was saying it's the joy in my heart, right? So I went, oh my God. When I really looked on the physical realm, where I was missing joy was I lost everything. So that's where the sadness has been coming from. My loss of my material things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like somebody said to me, yeah, you doing all this, ha 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 ha, but you living with your friends. So that's like, really trying to cut me. That's right. I'll take that. That's true. That is what's happening. But then God showed me this. What do I love enough that I would go through and do everything, go through anything and everything to obtain it?
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, I got that that's God for me. Like how many
Okay.
people, if God say, to find me, you're going to have to live with 26 of your friends. Would you do it?
Girl, you just said a lot right there.
Okay. And then most of the people I look at, they ain't even got 5 friends they could have
Ooh.
live with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I done had people like where I'm staying right now. They was like, come live with us. And like, even when I was like, okay, it's time for me to do it, they be going, not time yet. Right? They want me. Like when I came back from Broadtown, I had sold everything, moved out. And I'm like, oh my God, where am I gonna live? I called my friend up and she's like, oh girl, you back from Broadtown? Yeah. She was like, you need a place to stay? Like, I broke down crying because we had been having a conversation for over an hour. Who could I stay with? That it would be okay. So I really got that out of that conversation with Sunzi,
Mm-hmm.
right? I really got that. And how God got me so covered.
Mm-hmm.
God got me so where I stay at, there's deer to go by every day. A whole family of turkeys. And we got a little brook in the backyard. I mean, okay. As a matter of fact, we was talking about the other day, we vision board this house. How am I vision board a house? How God look out for me. Do this vision board event. She go vision board the house, and that's where you go live. That's God. That's
Totally.
God. My
Mm-hmm.
friend from California reminded me, you always said you wanted to live in Novi. Now you're there. It may not look the way I thought it ought to look,
Mm-hmm.
but I got what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
like, oh
asked
God.
for what you asked for. You
And I
definitely
got it, but
asked
just
for
don't
it.
look like I
Clearly.
said. Yeah, okay. So that piece of joy, so to really get to bring joy to the physical realm,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's where I need to bring joy to my everyday living. It's been so
Yeah.
powerful for me in the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's been powerful for me and really following spirit. Because I said, okay, I know I need to balance off because I sleep in the morning. So I'm like, okay, I want to do Elizabeth on Monday and Tuesday. I'll do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'll do it. Because mostly you
Right.
notice I don't be there on Monday and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But on Monday, my spirit's like, go on call. I was like, okay,
Or spirit is a boss.
okay. And
Hustle
listen,
up.
I'm not
Hustle
doing
up.
nothing. And your hand do like this.
I know. But Monday it was like I but now with Elizabeth, if it wake me up and tell me to get on the call, I get on the call.
Yes.
Because how spirit is working in my life right now is I'm in another group and we had the a guy wrote a poem to women who women were for me, and we were supposed to write a poem to like how that poem a poem back to him, right?
Uh-huh.
And I done read the poem like, oh, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't tell you how many times. And so the poem was really due last night. I'm like, okay, I don't have my homework, which that didn't work for me, but I had to own up. Okay, I don't have my homework. It didn't come through. I don't know what to say. And and what they said last night on the call, she was saying in her experience, well, I had that experience, but I asked the Holy Spirit to help me write it. I was like, oh, I didn't do that part. Okay, while we was on the phone, I went, Holy Spirit, what's the poem I need to write? And girl, the poem came right out.
Ooh.
I was like, oh, a place where I didn't ask the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is letting me know I'm saying that I'm uh, using the Holy Spirit in all areas, but it showed me where I didn't. I got stopped, but I didn't ask the Holy Spirit for help. And so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna read the poem, and then I'm gonna be done. Because he was talking about women who women were for him, right? And how he needed women to fulfill his purpose in life. He needed a divine feminine woman connected to source to be his soil. So as the
Mm.
seed, he could grow, right? That was his point, basically. And so
Ah.
we were supposed to answer back to what he said. And this is the poem that came out. As soon as I asked Holy Spirit, what came out was, I am the answer to your call. Divine feminine devoted to fulfilling and providing nutrients for your seeds to fulfill our destiny together. Come, I will cover you. Together we connect to source. Through to from We connect to source, coming from the darkness into the light. No longer lost. Together our purpose becomes fulfilled. The roots fulfill the fruits. That was
Mm.
my poem.
The
Mm-hmm.
roots fulfill the
Fulfill
fruit.
the fruits. Because the man has the fruits and he got to get in the soil. He can't. A seed
Show
can't do nothing until it gets in the soil, and the woman is the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Seed in
tell
the
the truth.
soil, and we'll
Tell the
have that
truth.
conversation one day. Like who we are as women, right? And why men, sometimes they don't show up powerfully for us because you have to nurture them, you have to water them, you have to uplift them, you have to, and a lot of times we'd be like, motherfucker, what's your problem?
Mm-hmm.
That is the soil. If you put a seed in the soil, the seed don't say, oh no, you're not a good seed. I'm spitting you out. Get out of here. That's not what the soil. That's not what this. That's not
I
what
love this
this.
analogy. It's so earthy.
It's not what It's not what the soil does. The
Mm-hmm.
Right.
soil accepts whatever gets put in it.
It sure does. It sure
Yeah.
does. It don't
Uh,
discriminate.
Not at all. And if it's an apple seed, it's not gonna produce no oranges. It's gonna produce some apples. Because the seed can only be what it is. It can't be nothing else other than what it is.
What is
So that whole
predestined to be.
conversation. So like last night, that gave me, like, I got so giddy and excited, like with joy, actual joy, someplace where I was stuck. As soon as I asked spirit for the help, it was right there. I was like, oh, look at that. And so now how to apply that even more on the physical realm, because that's the access to the power for me. So that's what I want to share. So
I can
Mama had,
relate.
yeah,
Thank you
so
for
on
sharing.
point
I
what you
can
read
relate to
today.
so much that you shared, Reverend Armani. First of all, out of opposition, because we were in Aries season. That's Libra's opposition. Time to sit and deal with, right?
Oh my God, I
Um,
had the biggest fight with my Aries friend. The biggest fight. The biggest fight. It actually might be over between us. I had the biggest fight with her. Yeah, the biggest fight because, I'll be on 10. But if I get on 10 with you about something that you're doing and you come to me for coaching and I get on 10 with you, it's because I
right.
really love you and I need you to get this point for your own growth and development. And so we got in a conversation and she was like, if you go be on 10, I'm going to be on 10. That's when I was like, okay, now it's over. I'm not saying nothing else. Oh, but she went on to be very like, you this, you that. I'm like, oh, girl, just, what she don't quite understand is some things you can't take back.
Right.
Once you say them, once you let them out, you can't take them back.
Right.
And it was really super powerful. And so, like sometimes when people try to go after me like that, I reflect on what's being said because I know it's just information. So
Mm-hmm.
when I checked on the information, yeah, I do be on 10, right? And the being on 10 helped me get to the joy. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't on 10, I couldn't have got to that answer for the joy. Right. But this is what I know about me being on 10. I'm on 10 for a purpose. I'm on a 10 for upliftment. I'm on 10 for empowerment. That conversation that has you bogged down and in despair about your life, I'm on a 10 about busting that up. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not
Right.
on a 10 to tear nobody down or to make you feel bad. Because
Mm-hmm.
I will keep talking to you till you get clear and you clear to go deal with whatever you're dealing with even more. So I really got that for myself. Like, the ego is vicious, suspicious, and malicious. And
Mm-hmm.
I have to, and I'm the one who God put here to deal with that. And when I start pressing in on people, the ego want to come back to back me up. But you can't back
Mm-hmm.
me up. That's the thing. Can't back me up. Because I'm a big girl. I've been trained. And if I'm out of order, I will apologize for it. But that's not where my heart is. So mostly I don't be out of order. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's not where my heart, that's Libra. I'm a double Libra. I'ma love you to life. You could be dead. I'll love you to life because I'll stick
Mm-hmm.
with you and I'll hang with you until the breakthrough comes. Right.
Right.
And so it's really deep for me. When people try to convince me that I'm not the teacher. I may not be your teacher, but I'm the one that's here.
But you know what, Omani, I,
Yeah.
I I love that you shared about what the person said to you because in my journey, I realized that a lot of times when I want to tell somebody off,
Mm-hmm.
that is really me is the person I need to talk to because we I think people really are reflections, and so with that instance when that person said it, I always tell myself, wait a minute. Say what you said again to me.
Oh
Look,
yeah,
say
I
what you
made
said
it
again.
clear. totally clear. That is totally what the Course of Miracles is all about. What what people are bringing to, like, I had to go, oh my God, she wasn't talking to me. All that shit she said, that was about her. That was
Mm.
about, she was talking about herself. That wasn't me. But in the
Oh, I
past,
got
I would have
cheated.
took it to heart. But that's not me. But now it's information for me to really, like, let me check over here with me. And if it's not mine, then I'm going to forgive you for trying to have me be the scapegoat to your bullshit. Okay, no, okay, no, 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 right? So we're gonna really see how it goes, because like that's about the third or fourth time she's done that. But where I am now is, the first time, okay, the second time, all right, but now like we at the fourth time, mm-mm, mm-mm,
She's
mm-mm.
dealing with it really
And
hard
here,
then. She's dealing
Oh,
with
she
herself
is,
right.
really hard.
but guess what? It's got to be hard now because I am. Listen,
Mm.
We talking about a headstrong Aries, baby. Headstrong.
baby, baby. And so what her problem is, she in my circle, but she going out in the world trying to be me in the world with this conversation. You can't talk.
Uh,
That's the problem. And she can't figure out why she get blasted when she go try to have a conversation. I know you can't be me, and when, because listen, it looked like I'm having fun. I'd be laughing, having a good time in my circle, and and I can get serious, and I do get serious with people,
right.
but don't try to go out there and be me. You only can be you. You only can be
Look
you.
underneath to what gives you satisfaction for the hidden shame and guilt.
You're right,
Okay?
right.
So I like this because I was going to ask. I want to know where to go in my discussion for the conference because I've been battling with that. What am I going to talk about?
Oh my
And
God. Wait a minute. Mama had, this morning, I was up early. This morning, I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, the event is coming up. I can't just walk on stage and you just start talking. That's not this kind of performance. I just
You go tell him what.
I'm like, we can't wake up. I can't wake up and go now, okay, what we gonna do? I'm like, I need to really start to prepare. Guess what? I heard nothing. I'm like, oh my God. It's gonna stress me the fuck out. It's gonna stress me out so bad.
don't let it do it. Don't let it do it
Oh my
because
God.
I opened up and said spirit. No, actually, because I do my morning pages, something came to me because I was like, how am I gonna go? Because Lolly and I talked briefly, and then I said, well, we need to talk to Queen because I need to know how we gonna do this. And I'm thinking about it early. So my mother, thank you, Mama Sandra, for giving me that early thing. And then writing yesterday, and I said what to talk about because what's very important to me is that I wanted to ask you, this goes with it too, Reverend Omani. Let me ask you this. You were talking about the financial hiding in that physical room behind the
Mm-hmm.
door.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something that I find that I think, well, in my realm, I've noticed that happens. Some of our hiddens, is that something that the parents dealt with? Is that something that you saw the parents go through a challenge with the financials? Is that,
Wait,
is it somebody else's experience that also adds to us starting to carry a burden that maybe wasn't really ours? We acquired it from some other experience. Is that
okay, so that's part of it. See, I have, through different kinds of seminars that I've done, I had cleaned up my initial money conversation, which was, our initial money conversation comes from, we had either the conversation that our mom had about money or our dad had about money.
because you
That's
asked us that?
initially where you have to go to start to clean out. I've done that work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
However, the work I was doing now, after that system broke down, okay, my whole system broke down. So now I'm rebuilding my system coming from the standpoint of wealth consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm my parents gave me what they gave me. I got complete with that. Now I'm building it from my point of view, my perception, what I want in that domain.
Okay.
right? So that's where I'm building from. But who your parents were about money, and who, like your mom and your dad, and how money was dealt with when you were growing up, that's where you get your money conversation from, right? And so in our family, we didn't really have a money conversation because both my parents worked. Girl, I thought we was rich until the riots came and they talking about we in the ghetto. We sitting up there, we in the ghetto. We didn't even know we was in the fucking ghetto. Wait the hell. We looking at the news and they saying, y'all, we was getting the ghettos of Detroit. We was like, we live in the ghetto. What the
Like I thought we
hell?
was in the high. I thought we was in the heights.
I know. What constitutes the ghetto? What makes it the ghetto, Mom? We didn't even know because I had everything I wanted. You know what I mean? I asked my
Exactly.
parents for it, I got it because they both worked. Right. So I didn't know. But I'm gonna tell you something. Because I did live a charmed life growing up. And before my breakdown, I'm a boss bitch. What? Well, what we doing? But under the breakdown, I had to get humbled. Right. I got humbled. And now I can, like, certain people who are at a certain station in life, I'd be like, okay, y'all work that out. I'm going over here. But I had to really get to a point where I could hear everyone, like have compassion for that. Before I didn't have any compassion for that. Only, well, a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Right.
Right. And so, yeah, I had to get humbled, but not only get humbled, who I was in the world was because of who my mother was. Right. That's who I was in the world. My mother was the main source. And when she died, I was like an extension cord to her. And it took me 4 years to lose all that power my mama had was pouring into me. It took me 4 years before I started losing power. And I was in a job that was about your power of your word. And I lost the power, and everybody was like, what happened? Why are you not producing the results? I had no power and couldn't figure out why.
Because I felt my source was gone.
Yes. And my mom
Even
was who
though,
I pushed up against. Nah, mama, and then she was like, you can't do that. And then who I was in life, okay, let me prove you wrong. So when I went to push up against my mom, who was my stop. You going too far now? When I went to push and that block wasn't there and I kept falling, I was like, okay, now this is some bullshit right here. Yeah. And so I had to learn how to handle the free fall. And that was on the spiritual realm. And then I was toxic emotionally because it was 4 years before I started to deal with my mom dying because I couldn't deal with it before. It was too painful. But by then, 4 years later, my emotions were toxic. So I couldn't make nothing happen. I couldn't pull nothing to me. I lost my magical power because I was toxic. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. The only reason why I want to jump in is because now I remember you said, because I don't know if it's because we have these Pisces mamas. I felt connected when you spoke about the spiritual was fine, but the
Yeah.
physical was like, wait, because I kept, Heru kept hearing me talking to people. I'm like, spiritually, I'm cool. I understand. My mother showed me that you call up on the Lord and tell him when you're ready to go and he'll come and get you. And I'm cool with that. But my physical, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But Heru was like, it don't look, what you saying don't look like that. It
They'll
looks like
match.
you're
Yeah.
angry. The
Mm-hmm.
anger that will ride your shoulders from the
Yeah.
physical missing of a person,
Yes.
because
But
it's
that's the
two different
emotional.
ideas.
Yeah, and
Come
so
on.
that's where people have the issue. See, I had to go learn about all of this. That's how I had to get my foundation back. I had to go learn about grief and the stages of grief and how grief worked. I didn't know. And so grief lives in the emotional realm, right? And so what sadness has information for you, but I had closed down so I could not get the information because I had shut it down. Grief, sadness lets you know that you've lost something that was important to you. That's what sadness is. But you can't close down because when, like, in the area of grief, that when they leave you a gift, but you got to stay open for the gift. And I shut
And
it down, so I couldn't receive the gift.
Mm.
you know what really is having me have this battle, this challenge with the spirit and the physical. As we are learning, like I don't know if I told you all, I was Catholic Monday through Friday, and Saturday and Sunday I was AME with my family when I was going to school. But we read and we talk about the joy of returning to our source. We talk about it every Sunday. We read about it, we talk about it, we pray about it. And when it happens, we break down into like a fall leaf, crumble when it happens. We study for years and years about how beautiful it is to go back to where you came from, and we trip out when it happens.
Mhm.
Where did that occur? I'm gonna tell y'all. One day I was going through it, and it was in the middle. Here's the kicker though. My mother's ailing. She was still able to function in some way. She was diagnosed with ALS. Animal, oh, can't even say it right now. Anyway, she had the upper failure where her muscles in her chest. I didn't realize that all this volume that we have comes from our muscles, and so when they go, all of this caves in. When I tell y'all my mother was skin and bones, she left here 83 pounds. Anyway, my mother's going through that. I'm going through menopause. My daughter was starting her cycle, so she's coming into her womanhood. And I'm in the, I'm a sandwich person, and I was also not cycling anymore. So I got all of this going on, and my relationship with myself was fucked up. And so and my husband and I, we were both going through sitting and learning with ourselves. So we were having self learning time. I came in this room, and when I tell y'all, let me take this stuff a little. This wall right here behind me, I came in here and wrote. I took a pen, a marker, and wrote on this wall. I was screaming. And then this piece of furniture back here, it was turned with its back to me. And I wrote on there all the solutions. I was fussing on this wall and wrote the solutions on the back of that. And it was so cleansing, if you will, for me to be able to do that, to be able to get those things out and then look at what I wrote, look at it daily. And so my girlfriend had gave me some painting. So I painted one wall in here just to see if I could handle this color. And I only painted one wall. Well, all of that focus and self-reflection ended up exploding, and I ended up painting the dining room, the living room, the wall up the stairs. I didn't do no ceilings and baseboards, okay? I'm gonna be honest. I didn't do no ceilings and baseboards. But when I tell you I didn't even prepare, I just moved furniture out of the way and painted. I didn't even lay no dust cloth. I said, let me do this now, because it was an explosion of expression of like a release. But just going through that physical and spiritual clashing of things, because with my mother, and even before that, I realized that when we think about the Ankh and the cross, and I looked, I said the Ankh is open at the top for representing the womb, and when they changed to a crucifix, it closes that space. I believe that the Holy Spirit is the feminine energy. Y'all, I don't know.
It is.
Because you can't have one without the other.
No, listen. It's a father, a son. If there's a father and a son, it's got to be a mama.
Got to be a mama.
Got to be a mama. Nothing coming through the planet unless it's coming through the womb of a woman. If you hear it came through the womb of a woman, she first.
So when I look at that understanding, and I saw that the Trinity is what it is, that it just opened my eyes. But ladies, let me just go back over what we're talking about. I was reading from the May Moon Joy. It says, too often in our daily lives, we defer joy. The self-examination for this month is, what causes you to hold back on happiness? What does deferring joy get you? This month, do not decide I'll be happy when. Look underneath or behind the door or open the door of what gives you satisfaction for hidden shame and guilt. Challenge those underlying feelings and work to understand why you have them and why they hold you back from delight. Answer these shadows by picking small victories, even something like getting all your laundry done. I'm glad to get a load done, okay? And celebrate them.
Me too.
Put on
Me
some
too.
music you love and dance if so inclined, and ring a bell, light a scented candle, and take pleasure in the little victories. So this was part of our discussion today, ladies. This is where we're coming from and what our focus was. Danielle, I see you unmuted if you had to share or wanted to share something. And I want to just thank everybody for stopping in today. I really appreciate your energy being here. Come on, Danny.
Well, you got to talking about the ankh and the but it's the cross. It's something about I got to thinking about what I learned about the drums and how the drums in Africa, you usually have three main drums that's doing the call and response. But that big drum is a big drum and two other
Dun
smaller
dun.
drums.
Dun
Dun
dun,
dun, right?
kinkani, and samban.
But the big drum is the mama drum. Then you have the father drum, and then you have the son drum. And when I learned that, I was like, wait a minute, that's something different. And I'm like, it's the mother that's actually sitting there getting the biggest sound out there. When you're doing the drums, I was like, wait a minute, okay, this is totally different than how we're taught about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And I do believe that the Holy Spirit, like you, is the feminine energy, because there's no way you could have three males dominant, you know what I'm saying, and be fruitful and all this other stuff. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you really look at it, ladies, what do they say? Mother Earth, Father Son. Tells you everything.
Just like if Earth is mother, like when Reverend Omani talked about putting a seed, when a seed is planted in there, a couple things gonna happen. Well, more than a couple, but I'm just saying a couple. A few things are gonna happen. The earth will receive that seed no matter how it got there. It doesn't judge how it got there. Like, oh, I got a seed here. I need to nourish it. I got things it needs. Now, sometimes those seeds may not grow, but they can go into the fertilization. And maybe if another seed get dropped down, that seed, that the remnants from that one will help this other thing grow. Okay. So it's still possibility able to happen. And that's why I like to use the analogy of fertilizing things. There are some lessons that we've learned. We've dealt with some people. We might have been the people that, you've dealt with some people, and, y'all might not be tight anymore, but I'm sure there was a lesson. Reverend Omani, I know there was a lesson you learned with Miss Aries when she was feeling herself in her birth season.
Absolutely. But it's the piece about that too that's in what you read today. It's like what we do is what we've learned, and actually not really learned, been programmed into. We've been programmed into the blame, shame, guilt, judgment, and condemnation.
And we judge ourselves before we step out of a door. We will judge ourselves amongst other people before anybody else has anything to say. And we think they thinking about us. But they might be thinking about their shoes and why they left out the house with two of the same shoes and they two different colors. But you think that you might see somebody put their head down and you think, oh, they don't want to speak to me. How about I got my own stuff going on in my own mind? What about my own stuff? I got brothers, sisters, mamas, daddies. I got cousins, girlfriends, preachers, teachers, college friends, work friends, dogs, cats. You take a number.
How about you got yourself?
Okay. I might be thinking about me.
When I was working at the shop, I used to have people. I didn't realize how people had a bad thing when you walk into a room. You're supposed to say hi to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to. When I got to the shop, I'd be like, sometimes I'd be trying to just get myself composed. Can I kick my coat off? Can I get the rain off my thing? Can I sit down? Can I breathe for a second? I understand like the old adage, but I'm like, there's things that I got to do to prepare for myself. And this used to be a constant battle because people thought that I was being standoffish. I'm not being standoffish. You don't know what just happened with me trying to get from point A to point B. And I just woosah for a second before I just be all, hi, good morning, everybody. How are you?
Right, with all that.
I may not be in that mood once I walk through the door. Like, can I just get me together before I acknowledge all of y'all.
And then they come with the hello, because you ain't said hello, because you ain't said nothing.
Right, and if I give you back the energy that you just gave me, now all of a sudden I got an attitude. I'm like, y'all too much. Y'all too much. No. It's like, ooh, can I boost out with this?
Look, where did that see, here's that part. Where did that come from when you walk in and stuff? Because I understand, like, when we talk about with yoga and they say namaste, that the God in me recognizes the God in you. I get that. But I need to check on my before I say anything, because I remember working, I was one of those teachers that did hug. But if my energy is foul and I know it's foul, it would hurt me not to hug people. But I'm like, I don't want to give you this. And the kids would be like, Miss Ho, they would be hurt. I said, just give me a moment. I'll come back to you. But sometimes you don't want to give off what you're dealing with. Sometimes there are people that might say, no, I'm gonna hug you anyway. And so maybe that's the person that can take it, help you with it. But I'm like, no, I can't hug nobody. Or I might I'm telling people I never had a button, but if I got my B button on, I'm gonna let you know. Don't mess with me today. We get at least 2 or 3 a month, ladies and gentlemen. I do allow a couple a month.
Well, you know what? I got a couple of things to say about that, because it's called old school. I think it's part of the problem that's going on the planet right now. There's a level of etiquette and respect of honoring what's already in the room. You already know you're going into a room of people.
Right.
You know you're going into a room and there's a bunch of people in there. It's like the word that's there. It's not the word, but the word that's there. It's like etiquette, right? It's like you walk in a room of people, you speak.
Yeah.
You already know. Don't walk. Why you walk in a room and have an attitude and bring a funky space into the room with you?
Yeah. Why don't you wait in the vestibule?
Yeah, we are.
Because the elders requiring it. The elders need it. They want it.
You know what? And that's why I like things like.
Why you gonna bring? Wait, hold on. Why you gonna bring your in the room and expect us to accept it? No.
No. I'm not saying I'm just like, let me get in the room. Let me breathe for 1 second before I start saying good morning to everybody. This was back in the day. This is why I like yoga and meditation. So when you go to yoga and meditation spots and sound bath spots, guess what? If you walk into the room late, you can't be like, hi everybody. No, because you're gonna disturb the ambiance of the room and what's going on. You learn how to come in like a church mouse and get into your spot, sit down and get into your groove. Because I'm like, we don't do all that. So it's not every instance. And I'm not coming in with any funkiness. I'm just like, y'all staying there with y'all coffee and everything. I haven't gotten my coffee yet. Let me wake up. Let me get myself together before I just walk through the end. Sometimes you don't feel like being like, hi, everybody. You don't feel like that. But I'm not coming stanky.
Yeah, you can come in and say that though, but that's not what the impression you left me with, Danielle. You left me with the impression like when you come in, you need a minute to get that's what you left me with. That's like I'm saying something, right? But if you need coffee, you'd be like, hold on, I ain't even had my coffee yet.
But that's still a speak though. But where does that come from? Does that come from us working in places and spaces where the non-melanated were and they would ignore us? Do we speak because we want to make sure that we acknowledge ourselves because we've been ignored for years? What's the source of that? What's the source of when you come in, you speak to people? Because sometimes your hello is a breath out and release and relieve, because sometimes that unison might help you break up some of that whatever it is you're feeling or not feeling. Because I've had it too. But like, I'm just looking at both ends of this, and sometimes, that's why I think people talk about, I don't know if you all do this, but there are people that sit in their car for about a few minutes before they, leave out to go into a place and you get your shit together to have a moment here,
right.
to get it together. Because this mirror, I'm gonna tell y'all, this mirror is powerful. Because like with Reverend Omani, that sister, our Aries friend, I have this dream that if you got somebody that's calling you fussing, hold on, I need you to put your camera on front facing and go in the bathroom or go to your mirror, and I want you to talk to me while you talking to you in this mirror. We're gonna all be there together. Take me with you. That mirror on, because a lot of times the information that you have for somebody else is something that is in the self. Come on, Mama Evelyn. Come on with it. Oh, she said wait. Oh, I thought she was talking to us. But I thought about that. You ready?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when I worked with the Festival of Trees, it was that Friday night gala when everybody was dressed up and they had shrimp cocktail. They had some great food, great desserts. But these people who had money, or would bump into you and not say excuse me. So I started saying, excuse you, how you doing? Excuse you. You bumping, yeah, how you doing? Excuse you. You hit me, you knocked me up. Oh,
look, they go like, oh, like they didn't even know you were there. Oh.
That's a white folk thing. What is that? Walk into a room and don't look at you. I'm a big woman. You can't see me? What is that? Uh-oh, you froze, baby. You froze. Okay.
Well, like the story that Reverend has shared. I heard this story many times too. You said, what is that? It ain't nothing until you say what it is.
Come on.
I'm old school, because I fuss at this, and I have fussed with my nieces and nephews about walking into a room and not speaking. So it is like it's old school. It is old school. And I had talked to the Lord, and I was saying, I'm going to hug everybody. I like to hug everybody. Come in the room, I hug everybody. When I come into my shop, number one, I feel responsible for the space that's created based on it came out of me. Just like what my son does, it's my son. I taught, I created, I had something to do with that. And so when I say, yeah, I'm gonna hug everybody, the Spirit said, even if they piss you off, even if you're mad at them, if you're not gonna do it for everybody, then don't make that declaration. So when I come in to my shop in particular, because that's my space, I don't care how I feel. And walk in, if I have to say hi loud, then that's everybody. When I get myself settled, and even in the emotion, I may have to get that together too. Then I go over to every single stylist.
Have that moment.
I touch every single person, because I realize everybody don't want to hug. New people, they may not want to hug. I touch them on their leg or something, their arm, and, to greet them. What I realize is that some people, nobody ever touches them. Nobody says hi. Nobody hugs them. And you might be that only person for months that took that moment. Yep. So especially when you know that you're walking into a space, you get your shit together. You get your shit. You bring joy in. You bring peace in. So we can say, people just need to understand, everybody's going through their shit. Everybody's going through their happiness. Everybody's going through whatever that thing is. And what God wants us to do is that we are the joy that walks in, or we are the peace that walks in, or we are the forgiveness that walks in. We are that, even though we're going through stuff in our lives and stuff.
Yeah.
That's to get to that point. Get to that point. Don't say that's just the way it is. you know,
Right.
and people need to understand because everybody is feeling that people need to understand. So,
Right.
what are we in our intentions bringing to the table? What are we walking into that room? I had a sign at one point. I'm gonna have to get that sign again. Be responsible for the energy that you bring in. Yeah, that was in the other space, the other loft that I was in. Please be responsible for the energy that you bring into this space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Queen, like even to that, like I was just thinking about, okay, what is that? And like Mama had been asking, what is that? And where did that come from? Right. And when I really look, it's like, well, for me, how it lives for me is when I come in, it's an acknowledgement. What people need more than anything is acknowledgement of their existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, it's like missing, and it's missing that it's missing. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, and I gotta say, and I'm not okay with that
Yeah.
because what's missing on the planet right now is we're just fucking rude with each other. Oh, so you done
Yeah.
got me hooked up. We're
But
rude with
did it
each other. No, well, hold on, let me
right?
finish. We're rude
Go
with
ahead.
each other. There's no regard for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's simple things that our parents put in with us that will have that regard for each other, and particularly with Black people.
Oh,
Because
yep.
we're the only ones out there killing ourselves. Why is that? Because we don't have no respect and regard for each other. You looked at me wrong. You stepped on my shoes.
You spoke to me.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
So
Right? Wait a
yeah.
minute. You looked at me the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. I've had that. I was like, I wasn't even looking. I was,
Okay,
Look, my eye was itching.
you know, or I was deep into thought, and so I was
Right.
looking right past you, right through you, and I didn't even see what you thought that I saw. I didn't even know nothing about that,
Right.
and that's what I've really been practicing. That mirror in my face,
why you
and
smiling at
So let me just jump in real quick. One of the things that I'm looking at for that is that okay, so we have CBD, the pandemic. So we got that energy after that. Then we also have this social media, which is it can be a very selfish energy. But in between that, I give credit to Maury Povich, Ricky Legg, and all them people, Jenny John, with all that doggone with that mess, you know. And you can't say nothing to my children thing because in my community, everywhere I've lived, if your child hang with me, they my child. So whatever I do, how I do things, I'm gonna expect the same thing of your baby, even if they live next door to me. Mama Evelyn, what do you want to share, baby?
Oh, I just want to say that where's my thought?
go
It's
back to
there.
her. Go back to her. Go back.
Okay.
Speaking, not speaking, how you feel, how you come into the room, blah blah blah. Boom.
It'll come back.
Okay, it'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in when it come back. Just gonna have to.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, but like I said, if we trace this back as far as we can, us not being recognized by people of non-color. So I think part of that speak when you enter is so that because we want to feel part of the da. I noticed that when my niece was a little girl, when men spoke to her, she was an arm baby. When men spoke to her, she would hey, you know, all of that. And women would speak to her, she would turn and do like this. And so when you turn, that would make them want to talk to you more. So I told her, I said, Kelly, if you go on and say something, she little now, this is I'm talking to her.
Yeah.
I said, if you say something, they'll leave you alone. Because if you don't speak, they're gonna mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wanna, because sometimes people will sense that you're feeling some kind of way. So it might be God telling them to speak to you. We don't know where this is coming from. It may be energy saying, I sense that she's not feeling good. Hey, so-and-so. And instead of telling you to say hi, if they see you in the room and you ain't saying nothing, guess what your responsibility can be? Hey, baby.
Yep.
You feeling all right? You know, like grandma and the elders. Hey, baby? How you feeling all right? They know. They be knowing before you get your toe good in the door. Baby, you feeling all right? So sometimes it's an assignment. Sometimes there's somebody gonna be in the space to say you need to, and it's not just to speak to just be speaking, but it's about an exchange of energy. So we got to think about it, because I've been like that, because I was a person that said, I'm, men would tell you why you not smiling? I'm like, I'm not fake. I'm not gonna smile. So could I imagine what my face looks like? Because I didn't see it. My father caught a picture of me one time. Ooh, oh my God. No, and then I thought about it. I said, we get mad about people. I get mad. And that's another Taurus friend of mine that said the same thing. I said, but did you know that smiling is exercise for the face? Because what do you do to exercise your face besides this? And what our mothers tell us, you keep looking like that, your face gonna get stuck like that, So even in your rested state, how does your face look? Because gravity will pull this sucker. I could see when we was, I think between 2021 and 2022, I could feel my face starting to sag. And I was like, oh no. So pulling back the ears, they got this exercise you can do. Just doing this helps with the fissures in the face, right, in the neck area, and it's the they call it the facelift. Just rubbing this. But I was talking about not being fake by smiling when I didn't want to, and I think that came from me being around people that made me feel uncomfortable. Like I had a customer at the bank. I had to do safe deposit box, and it can only be you, the person with the key, and the other person with the key. So you in this place, I felt rapist energy. Like it might not have been him, it could be somebody up his family line, but that's how I felt being with this person in a space alone. I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. But it was my job to go down in the dungeon and let the man in his safe deposit box. Or you might feel energy like when I was working at Burger King, I felt like I could sense that the elder men, they was messing with them young girls, and I could tell. I don't know if it was the truth, but I could feel it. And I was like, I'm not smiling because I'm not that one. I'm not that crayon, baby, okay? I'm not that crayon. Mm-hmm. I'm not coloring in your color book. You're not gonna color in my color book. But sometimes it's really about energy, and I get it. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. Sometimes it's an assignment. I'm the speak. God said, just like God gave Reverend Amani, you the ego buster. Okay, that's your job. So Danielle, did you want to share? Are you good?
Oh, hold on one second.
Okay.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. I want to say it wasn't until I learned how to prepare a space, because spiritually the spaces that I was walking into was already prepared. My thing was I was the front desk receptionist. So being there all day from 9 until whenever, and I literally mean like whenever, not 9 to 5, it's like 9 to whatever. It's like if you leave at 11 o'clock at night and got to be back at 8 o'clock in the morning. I realized I had to get there maybe about 15, 20 minutes earlier than the first client, until the first client started showing up 30 minutes early. Anyway, it's a whole nother story. Be like,
and did you go to bed on time? Did you go to bed when you got home? Did you go to bed on time?
No. Yeah, I mean that's all I had. That's all I had to do, especially if it was the weekend, because I had to be back up and be, early at the shop. So it's like I couldn't do nothing else. That's a whole work-life balance lesson I had to learn. But anyways, I was like, okay, let me get up early. Let me prepare the space. Let me prepare the coffee. Let me get there before everybody else, so that when they walk in, I can, greet everybody that walks through the door. And it's not like I have to prepare myself. So it took a lesson for me to actually make that switch and actually learn that. And that made a huge difference, instead of coming right at when the door is open. Okay, let me get a little here earlier and settle myself before y'all come in, because it's not them. Usually it's the travel to get from, like I said, from point A to point B, and everything that happened in between. So yeah, it was.
I didn't realize driving was so drive. I'm glad you mentioned that. Driving is something. If you
wasn't driving, I was on the bus, public transit. Let's just talk about public transit. That
Oh
by
Lord.
itself.
That's a whole nother beast right there.
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, but I want to just say, even driving, I remember when I had to go for a test, a stress test when I was pregnant with Isis. Now, I had to go, after I went after work, and the drive alone will shoot up your blood pressure. But I got in trouble because they said, "Did you eat anything?" I said, "Yeah, I stopped at Dairy Queen." They was like, "You stopped at Dairy Queen? You're not supposed to eat." I said, "Nobody told me." I said, and first of all, the baby said she wanted some. I'm carrying the baby. The baby said she wanted some ice cream. That's not my fault. Y'all didn't tell me I couldn't have nothing to eat. I don't know that. I never been pregnant before. Y'all got to communicate. I didn't know. But driving, when Isis was going out to school in Fraser, I could sense the anger and the evilness of the people driving when I would go out there. I would be so blew out when I got home from that. Do you see my face? I would be blew out from that drive on 690. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've only known I've only known that I can really say one person besides Mother Whitney, because Mother Whitney, but she was an elder, so there is a difference. This is a young lady, um, we call her Brenda, and Brenda always, she never met a stranger. She always had a smile on her face. It was, I probably can count on 3 fingers times when I have seen her upset. And just to see her deal with it straight up as though she was that kind of sister all the way as well. She oh, but Brenda, always a hug. Always. And it didn't matter whether she knew you or not. That's what that was her temperament, or her, what is that, something,
Discord? Is it Discord? No.
who she is.
Disposition? Her disposition?
Disposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disposition. Yeah, that's how Brenda is. And she so I mean, it's part of who we are, what we dealing with, and all that kind of stuff. There has to be, or there can be in your life where you set the intention that whatever room I walk into, I'm not going to let whatever else is going on have me to bring in negative energy. I had one lady who's all, she deals with physical stuff as well, right? Physically, all her life. Well, you always had to. So yeah, let me share the other side. When the side where people are in the space, and then you're walking in, right? Life done hit you and everything else. But then you walk in and we don't know who you are. We don't know whether you're in pain or you are just pissed off that day, or you're happy that day. We can speak to you. So it that to me is you dealing with yourself.
Right.
You're dealing with yourself. And so in this one situation, she was mad at somebody, and everybody else she was nice to, and then just chopping that person, just chopping. So if you can
Like
be
an axe.
you can be happy over here, you can manage that in the room with everybody, where you don't have to cut people off, chop them up, and all that kind of stuff. So it's really it's about us. That's all that we can handle is ourselves. And that's a chore within itself.
Woo!
Okay. But you know what though? Another piece I'm hearing in this conversation, what's missing, and we don't even know is missing, because it comes from home training. Like a lot of stuff we learned at home. It was just like everybody had the conversation, because when you out in the world, you can tell who got home training and who don't. And if you don't have some elder around you, or in your vicinity that teaches you that. You just don't have that conversation. Not bad, not wrong, just don't have the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
it came back.
come on, Mom.
It came back. I was thinking, Mama Head, how you always hold up that sign. This it's about us, or
Yep. Yep.
I'm driving, and we were talking about driving, how people are racing past you to get where they want to go, and you both get to the light at the same time. You both get, and it's like, and they give you looks. So I don't look at anybody really, because it's
like this, trying to make you look.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to get some of those. I have some. I'm going to make some signs. And when people do crazy stuff next to me or pass me up, I'm going to hold up a sign. Say, you are loved. I see you. You're okay. Get there safely.
Right. I like that. That's cute. I've always wanted to do that, Mama Evelyn. I said, I want to have that little thing that read across, the little dots. I said, I want to start putting those in the back of my car.
That's even better. Yeah. But when you pull that,
I like the signs. I like the signs.
around you wasn't driving fast enough, or what? Speed limit is 55 on 94 for a certain period.
What? 78.
70.
Oh, Lord. You would drive me crazy. I wouldn't look at you though. I'd just drive right on past you.
Yep.
Because anybody tell me it's 55 and I'm gonna go 55. I will be the driver in the car, Mama Evelyn. You sit over there or you sit in the back. Because I am not gonna ride this.
So I'll go 60.
Tricycle. That's like tricycle.
I'll go 60. It may creep up to 65, but
Look, I stay in the slow lane and do 50, 60, 55, 65, 60. Cause I'm you know what? Being retired, I don't have to rush anywhere anymore. I take my little put. That's why I like riding my bike. That's why it's safer for me to be on a bike. It's always safe.
Yeah,
but y'all, I saw a lady. I saw a lady yesterday, her front license plate. She said, I don't blow my horn, watch for the finger. I was cracking up. I wanted to stop her so I could say, I love you. No, it said my horn is broken. Watch for the finger.
Oh no.
Queen Adoni.
Yes, honey.
Queen Adoni.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you unleash my video, please?
Your video.
She wants the power. She wants the power.
You want the power so you can play?
No. I want you to turn. Thank you. My video was off.
Your video. We can see
I'm
you.
driving home.
Oh,
I'm done.
Power over that.
I'm done twisting my hair now.
Yeah, I don't have power. I just have the sound power.
I don't know why my video got cut off.
Look, your hair turned it off. Said, "Let me do this right quick."
Let me tell you this much: I don't care. I don't care if people fuss and get mad at me while driving. That's you and your emotion and dealing with whatever you got to deal with. So if you give me the finger, I'll be laughing because I'm like, you mad? I'm not. You the one that got angry.
Like this.
I don't look at people's cars. I look straight.
Somebody let me in. I make sure I say thank you.
But listen, even if I take the space, even if I take it, I'd be like, thank you. Look, they be big. They be like, oh, she said that. Look, this is how I'm waving in my window. Thank you. When I take it, or when they give
like it this, I'll be like,
hey. I know they be fussing, but they be like, look, I'm gonna make you think you let me in. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, driving is something. Driving is something else. Driving is something else. I used to be, my father used to, come on, Daddy. My father used to tell me, if you see a fool coming fast through, get over and let him go. Let him go through. Anybody see the movie Crash or whatever? That movie was really good. Mm-hmm. But then I realized my daddy is the Negro that's going to make, drive up on you so you can get out his way. When I realized that, I was like, you are the person. We were riding on the freeway, and the police. My dad was driving, and then we switched because my father he wants the fast lane. He believes in the rules of the road. You know, you only supposed to pass in the fast lane. So my dad would, he would pull up on people, flash his brights, and they called and told the state police on him. So of course we didn't switch driving. Now the police pull us over because they told on his car, and then he said, "Yeah, we got to report you, barreling people over." But if you flash your brights, people are supposed to. That's like saying, "Excuse me," because you are supposed. No matter what, you're not supposed to drive in the fast lane. That's the passing lane. That's a lane to pass and get back over. But most people drive in the fast lane. When I drive on Davidson or the Lodge, my favorite lane is the slow lane because nobody's over there. And so I can get through, all the egos in the fast lane. I can go and get around everybody because I don't do wolf packs. But anyway, like life.
Yeah, when you first said that, brought that up, Evelyn, I thought about when you were talking about a sign. I'm glad that you said what signs it is, because my aunt's godsons, they were twins. One of them got smart with somebody driving, and the man killed him. Just a smart remark.
Yeah.
But you don't know what people are dealing. Because I remember one time I was so upset, and somebody came driving by, and I said, "You do not want to fuck with me today. Not today. Not today. Not where because you don't know where people have come from or where they're going into and stuff." So I was glad that you said, really nice things like because
look, the other side say
literally
the other side say this, and this side say
yeah. We live in this wonderful world. It
is a wonderful world. But all of these things we've been talking about are choices. It's a choice to be angry. It is a choice to be in that space. Because you can have something happen to you, and you can turn and take a breath and be on the next thing. Because a lot of times, most people many times, let me say, even when I'm going off, I just want to let off the steam. Sometimes, just, pretend to be the mirror. My last name is Wall. I remember somebody said, "I'm the wall, you're the ball. Whatever you throw at me bounces back to you." I didn't realize that was a thing because sometimes we use other people as it's really like we use other people as mirrors. Like, I'm talking to you, I'm telling you about yourself, but I'm really talking to myself. And I realized
that was Mama Samara's always saying. That was her saying all the time. While I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. She would always say that. When she be fooling you, I'm talking to you while I'm talking to you.
Right. Because think about this. Think about the things that are your pet peeves. I have one. When people not ready when I want to go somewhere. People come and get me, and I'm still, I don't have on no clothes when they come and get me. I said, now my problem is that people give me things and say, "Mama Het, you want to go to so-and-so? I got some free tickets." So I call my friend like, "Come on, we got to get ready." Blah, blah, blah. But me and the family, I'll tell her, I laugh, I talk crap about Hetheru because he'll start getting ready. Like if we got to be somewhere at 6 o'clock, he's jumping in the shower, getting ready to go. Now I'm fussing at him and, "Come on, Isis and Hetheru, come on, we got to go. Look, they at the car and I'm still putting on clothes because I made sure everybody else was getting ready, but didn't take care of myself. So he like, "Mom, hey, you get you together. You still figuring out what color you gonna wear." Game recognizes game. I remember when our parents would come to the church for the 8th graders promotion exercise, and the teachers would be in there talking about the mamas who got on short skirts. If you had a body like that, you'd have on a short skirt too, and stop tripping. Stop tripping. I bet you were. Let me see some of your pictures back in the day. I don't want to see nobody's belly out. I bet you had yours out at some point or time. I'm telling Isis, look at these artists, how these artists are dressed Turn around,
I
Perusa,
just
if
like a
you like
chai tea
France.
latte.
Come on.
A
Oh,
hot chai
mom,
tea latte. Yep.
put that on mute, mom. But yeah, I mean, we call out what we know. Think about it. Think about a pet peeve you have. Look at so and so, and look back at go on and same coat for your thing. Oh, I got that same outfit in purple. 19, 1999. You had that same outfit on. Matter of fact, you gave it to him. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, we can only call out what we know most times. I want you to do a deep, deep thought about that. Deep, deep thought about what get on your nerves. Same thing you do. Same thing you talk about. Something you do.
Well, instead of thinking about that, let's think about what makes us happy and joyful. And
The Elizabeth Visionary Conference makes me happy and joyful. How about that?
how about that?
The 13th of this month.
Because it's a party.
It's on the way.
It's a party going on here.
Party going on.
Going on.
I'll be here virtually. And it's kind of unrelated. When you were trying to figure out the word Queen of Duny, said disposition. I love words, and there's a song that uses that word disposition, and it's so. And I've been thinking about that song all week. It's a Phoebe Snow song called "You Have Got a Sweet Disposition." You know that one? You have got a sweet disposition.
I just know her, and I'm sure sing a little bit of it. I'm sure.
Wait a minute, let me turn this flute off. Wait, let me turn the flute off. Hold on.
Because I can't. It doesn't sound right without the music, but I'll try. But I just love the lyric. It's like you have got a sweet disposition, warm like the oven in my mother's kitchen. I've subscribed to your religion. Let us share some love. I love this. The cleverest lyrics.
I love it. My mama, what was the words? Disposition.
You got a sweet disposition, warm like the oven in my mother's kitchen.
Yeah.
And something religion.
I've subscribed to your religion. So
Yes.
let us share some love. And the
I
rest
love
of
it.
it is great too. So just check it out. Yeah,
I love it.
Phoebe Snow, sweet disposition.
Gosh, I haven't heard anything from her in so long.
She's the ancestor now, of course, but I love her. It's one of my all-time favorites, and that's one of the ones I sing in the shower, sing while I'm washing dishes, like sing sing to her, and I can sing every line and every breath she takes on.
So songs are poems, and I don't think I realized that. And I bought Jill Scott. Jill Scott has a poetry book that she put out, and I remembered, but I didn't remember my friend's birthday, who's a Libra, by the way. And I didn't even get to crack that book open. I immediately gave it to my girlfriend, and I never bought it again for myself. But I didn't realize that poems, people turn poetry into, you can put it to music and song. And Jackie, also with today, how you did that, if a song ever comes to you, I would love the song, bring it in. I have a friend, Sister Aisha, and we do that a lot of times, people talking in that word, just like when we mentioned something today, and I thought about, what's his name? James Brown. I know if I would have been born during his time, I would have been in trouble, because I sure would have been partying with them. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, y'all. I would have been at the juke joint getting in trouble. Him, Fela Kuti, who else did I say I'd be in trouble with hanging out with? Somebody else. But those two, I know I would be in trouble. So what artist would you be in trouble with hanging out with?
Well, Mama, you mentioned about the poems to songs. Nancy Wilson, I'm not singing this one, but Nancy Wilson sings a song called When October Goes. And the story behind that song is it's written by Johnny Mercer and Barry Manilow. It's beautiful.
What?
Song. Yes. Well, what happened was Johnny Mercer's widow gave these lyrics or poem to Barry Manilow, and then Barry Manilow wrote music to his beautiful tune. That's something you could definitely look up. When October Goes. Nancy Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that just because you sing a song doesn't mean that you wrote it. Like, or even the music. Like Jay Dilla contributed a whole lot. I didn't even know who he was. Didn't know he was from Coney Gardens, which is a very popular neighborhood here in the city. Um, he wrote the background music to a lot of Jill Scott, The Roots, Erica Badu. That was his music. And this brother lived right here in my community, and I didn't even know it.
Mm.
Heru and I just looked up. Oh my gosh, what's the brother that sang with the Dramatics and the Spinners? He was from Ohio, and his mother left the family and left with another man and came and moved to Detroit and put him. And the father gave him up to a what do you call it? Adoption? No. A boarding home. Something like that. Yes, an orphanage for young Black children. And his name, okay. He sang with George Clinton and Funkadelic. He had they said his voice is still like one of the number one. What is that man's name? What's that man's name? Oh my God. Hold on, let me go get it. Heru!
And Star and Ebony.
Felipe win, y'all. Felipe win.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Felipe went. Okay.
Man, his history. Woo. But anyway, we got a lot of people that wrote music or lyrics, but they used it, they gave it to other artists. We have no idea the history that we have lived through or learned about or, don't really realize.
Yeah.
Woo.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. I'm fired up, y'all.
That's a big kitchen there, Danielle. There's a lot of wide space.
Shoot.
This is a gorgeous space. It is a gorgeous space, even though it's dated. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. You froze up, baby.
Say it again.
Loose yourself. Speaking of lose yourself, when I was in the Deliverance Church, it was no joke. I think we fought so much. Loose, bind. Yeah, we was that was something. When I was saying loose yourself, that was one of loose. I bind you in the name of Jesus. Getting that devil out of there and stuff,
Turn me loose.
We were so good at delivering that we would know how to deliver ourselves. We were just going in the bathroom in the back of the church and deliver ourselves. We knew what to say, all that stuff, we knew what to look for.
I remember we used to have an elder sister come and visit our church, and every Monday I turned into her at school. I used to love her voice and how deep her voice would go. She would wear her glasses really low, and she would be at the lectern. The Lord is my shepherd, and she hit that lectern, boom. Man, I can't remember her name, but I was every Monday after I saw her, I turned into her at school. I had to deliver the message. I used to love, bless name. I know.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say, Mama Het, you were talking about, the way we look and stuff, and people were saying, why don't you smile, or are you okay? I really have to deal with that a lot with my teephuses, because I know y'all hear a lot about my teephuses, but it is very prevalent to me, just like my face is right here, and so I realized that because my mom, people would drive by, my mama would be sitting on the steps or sitting on the bus stop and stuff, and they would drive by, smile, smile. Well, with this right here, I realized this pushes this out, and so I'm always looking like this. So I had to live.
So you gotta get used
I
to
had to think about that. I
You
need
know what?
to smile until
I used to,
Go ahead, Danielle.
you know, people used to tell me that all the time too. Like, oh my God, you look so serious. A lot of times I'd be in deep thought. And they'd be like, you need to smile more, you're pretty. And I'm like, I'm in my own thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has nothing to do whether like I'm not happy or anything like that. I'm thinking about 12,000 things at once.
Right.
Like, but they're responding how your face looks, because we don't see how we
I'm
look.
like, oh, that's all that is.
My
I'm
mom
like,
was
I'm not.
Yeah, so I really have to deal with that a lot, because a lot of times, like behind stage with the girls and stuff, and they all know me. They've been knowing me they all know me, and and I'm usually smiling and stuff. But usually now I had to realize what I'm doing is I'm so busy working inside. There's a whole world inside here. Really, because I didn't know how deep down. I don't know if you've ever put your finger down. It goes far down. I could feel the bone way down here, but I never had a reason to do that. And so now, with Polly will go down here, and you realize, why is it thick? And you pull out this gab of the poly grip,
right.
And so they don't know that I'm going through in every moment. I'm sorry. Every moment I'm trying to breathe.
Okay?
I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to swallow. My teeth are running around like now. So I'm totally busy the entire time.
In there.
Trying to keep that together.
Yeah. And then
keeping it together. Yes.
And then it's just a world. It's a world. And so when they, I had to realize, oh yeah, or you're so quiet. Well, I have a party going on in here inside here that, it's doing what it wants. I'm telling you, when I sip, I have to calculate the swallow. I have to calculate when I'm going to pull the stuff, the spit from the
saliva
up here and pull it out, and then if I drink, I got to hold it in my mouth, because it's like so much in your mouth, you only have a little. If you feel like you got just a little hole for it to go down. And then, in a few minutes, because my husband, he looks, when I was leaving, I put my mask on and stuff. And he's like, well, you going somewhere with my teeth? I said, I have to calculate. And I'm not going to be doing nothing from now until 2 hours from now. So I'm not going to put it in and nobody's seeing me, because I know that I only have a certain amount of time with the saliva. That's the word out. To go down. And so when I'm talking to people, the letters are not coming out, and it's always, what'd you say? What'd you say? Well, anyway,
we got it.
It's a whole story. It's a whole world. And I thank God. I'm grateful for what God showed somebody how to make these things. But oh Lord,
Give thanks. Give
Okay,
thanks.
but
oh
this is my
Lord.
question.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying right now, but this is my question. How is it for you? Like emotionally and mentally, how are you about all of that?
Sometimes, well, I've gone through the
Dark soul.
yeah, but I've gone through the I should have done and I should have done and I should have done. I should have, should have, should have. But then I also think about somebody could have hit me in my mouth and I'd still be going through the same thing for another reason.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then when I saw my grandson, I said, baby, did you notice that I had the teeth? And he said, no, I didn't know that they come out putting braces on kids now, as an infant. Teeth ain't even there and they want to rack it up and stuff. I'm just saying,
Why?
back in the day, braces you did not want braces. Okay. So let me get to where was asking.
Thank you.
I'm very glad because it needed to be done. So
Okay.
there it is right there. I needed it to be done no matter what, because I couldn't really smile the way my mouth was anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I realized it's a process because I'm getting to the process of permanent teeth. And,
Okay.
So I just got to go through that with all that's involved in it and get to that point. And then I don't even know because what they do is they show you the smile, but you don't know, nobody's talking about what is going on, even with the new teeth, if it's permanent, because those teeth are not yours. And so I'm just wondering, will I feel the food like I did with the other? Will I? And let me tell you this, sometimes when my mouth, I'm just relaxing and stuff, I can feel the distance and sometimes even the teeth, because once it was there, like if your breast, it's still there. And I can feel my mouth is open and then I have to, I can feel it when I purposely close it. So it's an experience. It's a one that many don't talk about, like how do you clean your mouth? I have to take a rag and stick it in my mouth like so I'm washing my, like this. My
Right.
It's another world we don't pay attention to. And
it's like you don't get the information about that stage of life until you get there. Like women don't talk about menopause in their 40s until your friends start going through late 40s and 50s.
Everybody's is different. Everybody's is different. Right.
And I have to say, Queen Aduni, because I just realized you and my mom would have been the same age. And when you adopted me, when you were actually officially adopted me, you're going through the same thing that she went through, because she went through had pyorrhea and gum disease because of diabetes, all that going through late 40s, early 50s. And I remember my mom having a beautiful smile, and then she stopped smiling. All of a sudden she stopped smiling. All of a sudden she started covering up her mouth. She wouldn't even let me see her without, her teeth, without everything that was happening with her mouth. And she did get dentures, went through the adventures of doing the dentures about 51, 52 before she passed and everything like that. So watching you go through this and be so open with it gives me an insight as to what she was going through back in the day, because she was hiding it and covering it up because of whatever it is that you feel about why this is happening. So I appreciate you sharing it, because now I have a better understanding of what she was going through at that particular time.
And
I just want to thank you for that. And then since you
thank you, babe. I
just got one more question.
My client gets, by the way.
Yes, ma'am.
My one more question is,
this is what an 88-year-old gets.
Oh wow.
My other question is,
did I answer that one?
Yeah,
Complete. Okay.
sort of. Okay, thank you for asking that.
Mm-hmm.
You sort of told me like how the process is for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't tell me how you really felt about it. Like what you go through having to calculate everything. Like how does that make you feel?
Preoccupied
Okay.
all the time
Okay.
until I come home and I take this stuff out. I feel like wait, I feel like
Yeah.
I got a girdle on my mouth.
Got you. Got
Take
you.
the bra
Got
off.
you. Got you. I
Mm,
got that. I really want you to know for me, the process is having me have more appreciation for my teeth,
yeah.
right? Like I never, just like when I couldn't swallow, I was like, oh my God, I have no gratitude for my throat. And that little dangly thing, you know what I mean? When my throat was hurting for 6 days, I was like, I would just like hold it. You know how you swallow a lot unconsciously.
Bring a camera so I can see your
Oh,
face, your pretty
here
face.
it goes. Here it goes.
Uh-huh.
We're sitting down. You know how you swallow a lot and it's like automatic. But when my throat was hurting, I'm like, I got the whole that swallow. I can't.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, I'll wait 2 more times and then I'll swallow. Right. It was like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wondering how that was. But then what came to me after that was, how can you bring joy to this whole process?
She
Is
does
that my
that.
question?
She does that.
Is that my question?
Yeah, how can you bring joy to the process?
Well,
I gotta turn
I
the camera
do.
to
No, I do. And I have an answer. I have. I mean, I make fun of this all the time between
okay.
my husband and Pam, but definitely my husband. Because when I take the teeth out, I'm going,
Yeah.
or and I don't necessarily hide it from people.
Okay.
Because, like if I'm, people come over and stuff, if I just happen to have my teeth out, then you get to see Sheila because you've been knowing me anyway. And whether you don't know me, you meeting me then. And,
Mhm.
and so I just like, I'm always, comparing somebody who had a hip replacement or arm or whatever. You just compensate. You just do what you have to do to make it work. And um, but we do have a lot of fun. Wear teeth in the kitchen, in the bathroom, or whatever. And I've had to go at events like this one.
Mhm.
The satin dolls, each one of them, I had to go in the bathroom and just take the damn teeth out.
Mhm.
Like, give
Because
me.
after hours of it, the saliva has made the sticky stuff. Now it's like water.
Unsticky.
But
Gotcha.
but here's my concern is that I am swallowing all that dry, sticky stuff.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
yeah.
What is that doing? So then I'm trying to drink water. So then, and so it's just another world. It's another world. I'm in it. And, I have fun. And, there are those times. Anyway,
I got
Let
you.
me just
I'm going through. And even like
Gotcha.
the next set that I get, it will snap in. So they won't move. But I have to go through the time of the healing of the body and all that. I didn't know all that. But even when I tell myself I wish I'd have known that, I tell myself, but Sheila, you had to do it anyway. That's where you were. That's where your body was. The teeth were going to continue to fall out. So you had to make the process so you can get rid of that reason why you're not doing this and that excuse for that. I had to wipe it out so that I can move on with my life. And so this is just the stage that I'm going through. If you will, well, when you get the rehab, we had to go rehab and learn how to say these things and stuff, but it does. So I'm, when I go to the event, I'm usually just sitting there being quiet because it just
You're working.
yeah, because if the music is in, they can't hear me anyway. And then I'm trying to say it loud and keep the teeth from jumping out on them.
Screaming. Screaming,
Oh
right?
my gosh. I had
2 songs before I'm gonna sing, I have to go to the bathroom, refresh the stuff on there so they won't jump out.
Oh
while I'm
Lord, she
singing. So right now I'm just tamborining, I have to go like that.
I thank you so much for sharing that. I just wanted to share something that happened to me really quick. I was eating some, anyway, I was eating some wavy potato chips, and I have a space here from a tooth gone. And I mean, I'm tearing the chips up. Now I have a broken tooth up. My feelings when I got them, I had one down here and one up here. So that's jacked up because they on 2 sides and in different places. So I have a cracked tooth over here. So I'm keeping the chips from over here because I'm tearing them up. I mean, I'm feeling full teeth here. I'm eating them like I got all my stuff. I bite down in the chip, baby. When I tell you I got a potato chip splinter in my gum,
That hurts.
I had to get some tweezers. Thank God I found these tweezers in my daddy's things when I cleaned out his apartment. I had to use the tweezers, and it was such a small piece. It was tiny, and it wasn't even hard, but I could tell it was impaled in my gum. So I have a challenge here too. But when I think about Sheila, when you share your story, I think about the things that you did do while you weren't focused on your grill, if you will, but you had something else happening. Let's say it was the birth of your child or whatever else you were focused on, because at that moment that was important to you.
Right.
So even if at this point it feels like you were ignoring, but it was something else that was more important to you that you take care of at that time. So I see that. And I feel that. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I appreciate you sharing this journey, because that your journey is making me go, you need to, at least if I ain't doing nothing else, at least oil pull and help keep things together until I make the move to do what else I need to do, because it's making us more aware, or at least me, I'm say that. So I appreciate you saying and sharing, because I thought it was just a pop in and going about your business. I joke about it because I keep saying I want to go ahead and get my impressions and tell my friend who does 3D printing, I need you to make me some teeth. And you sharing about how deep it goes. The root of the tooth is longer than the piece that we see. Yes. It's about another 2-3 inches down, baby. And when they grow like this. They come in like on a conveyor belt and they go bloop. That's how they grow in. Wait a minute, I'm not doing it right. They grow in, they're laying down, and they come in, and then they do like this. That's how the teeth come in. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. So they come in, laying down, and then when they get to their point, they know that, this is my station right here, and they sit up. I was like, wow, this body is incredible.
Yeah. If
you have challenges around in your body,
and also remember that
check your tooth. Hold on, Danielle. Check the tooth and see if you have issues in your mouth. It's associated with
apart or connected. The teeth are connected to the bone system. Okay.
Yep, that's what I was getting at. Because when we did on a Tuesday, we did a session. I think that was the first one that I did. The teeth, if you have a challenge with your teeth, find out what body area that is. I bet you if you got something going on, it's probably associated with that space. Because I had no idea that we were connected like that until we did that session. I was like, dang. So you got a toe that's out of, your toe is bothering you for whatever reason, from the shoes you decided to wear or not wear. It's a tooth. I'm sure it's a tooth. Or is the tooth hurting because that body part is hurt? Which one is the Which one is the one that says, okay, I don't, I'm not comfortable, if you
Mhm.
will.
Okay, ladies, it is 10:10. It is
Let's get off.
at 10:10. 1 year ago, we started the Wednesday today. Every day we started that day for the year. So last year it was At Peace and Danielle, and on Tuesday it was Mama Razia and Seisha.
Uh-huh.
And then on Wednesday it was Mama Ayaba and Mama Awa.
I'm gonna call them today.
On Thursday it was Nawili and Ayana and Lily B.
Lily B, right? My twin.
And we've been still holding it down. Lolly came a little later, but me and Danny, we still here.
All right.
We are celebrating.
All right.
And I'm so
grateful. Cupcake.
Mm.
I need a cupcake to celebrate.
I was going to call you. I told him yesterday I was going to call everybody. I was going to text and say, let's have a drink, a toast, right? And then about 10, because I said we'll do it at 9:30. About 9:20, 9:10, Pam was sitting here and she's looking at me, and I was like, she said, well, I said, I haven't even sent it out there. I was still working on, a flyer to post it and send it out and everything. I was so tired. So at 9:30, Pam got her glass up and took our asses to bed.
Right. We can toast on Friday, that's for sure.
We will definitely
toast on Friday.
Let's have mimosas. Let's make mimosa. Everybody gets something to make a
mimosa Friday morning.
I was talking about Friday evening too. On Friday evening.
Oh yeah, because we have rehearsal Friday.
Yeah.
Friday, anyone want to come by? We are rehearsing the fashion show, the hair show. It's going to be fun. And
what time on Friday?
7 to 9
at the Episcopal Church.
No, boo, at my house. I mean, at the shop.
Oh. That's your house. Okay.
It is really, isn't it?
It used to be all the time. Yeah, I don't go up there much. Although I'm about to start now that Nicole and Danielle are gone. I'm gonna tell y'all. Well, I'm not gonna tell you. Something I'm working on. Yeah, okay. But my brother and who stays upstairs, and my other sister, they got a space right on. You can look out there and see them. So I was telling Pam and Doris, they like to drink. I said, I can see the two of y'all drunk asses walking across the wall. And Doris would always, she had to drive all the way out to 23 miles. So we'd all watch how much she drinks. So anyway, right. So that's where that is. And tickets are selling. I just got some. Oh, and so if someone said that they bought a ticket, the three, they just, when they get their receipt, give the receipt number to make a copy and give it to the other people, the other two people. Okay. So let's do it. Let's make it happen. Yeah. Give yourself a big hug.
Thank you all for coming today. I appreciate you. Lolly,
hey, Lolly and Leather.
Ebony. And look at Bridget's table while y'all hugging. Look at that table. Hey, Bridget, can we see your face? What you doing?
I keep waiting on Bridget to walk past the table.
Star, we see your waterfalls.
Yes, Star, come on.
Let me see you.
There you go.
Hey.
All right, so hug the world. Now that we done hug ourselves, hug the world, and sprinkle all the goodness that you want in your life. Sprinkle it on someone else and smile today. Smile.
No more deferring your joy. No more deferring your joy.
Mhm.
All right. See y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Peace out.
I say today.
Thank you, Jackie, for
Ashe.
joy.
Love you
Thank you,
guys.
Jackie.